Well, what happens in the next couple of weeks, Steve, just to try and clarify that, is that these kind of informal talks begin, and by the end of March, around the 23rd, they will actually decide who's going to be Speaker, leader of both the chambers of Parliament here in Rome. At that point, Sergio Mattarella will take over and try and negotiate formally with the various parties and blocs to figure out if they can get to the 50% majority that's required to govern here. Just going to run you through some of the reactions in the Italian press. Obviously, these went to print a few hours ago based on some of the exit polls and the early projections, but pretty much held true over the last 6 or 7 hours. So here we have a supporting paper of the Cinque Stelle, Cambia tutto, everything changes. You've got a nice photo there of Luigi Di Maio smugly watching Renzi exit stage right. Let's take a look at one of Berlusconi's papers, Il Giornale, Guai in vista, trouble on the horizon. Obviously, the centre-right concerned about not necessarily having a working majority for its coalition. We've got Libero here, which is also a slightly right of centre paper. Di Maio in peggio, a nice Italian pun. Di male in peggio, from bad to worse. They're clearly not very happy about the result either. Il Foglio Quotidiano, we've got Vaffa all'Italia del Vaffa. Vaffa is obviously the shortened version of a quite rude Italian phrase that became very famous in association with the Five-Star Movement. They used to have these days, the kind of get-lost days is a polite way of putting it, Steve, and that really was the sort of rallying cry early on as they criticised Italian politicians. La Stampa here, the Turin paper of record, Vince Di Maio, Italia ingovernabile, so that's obviously a victory for Di Maio, Italy ungovernable. Questions around that really, because of course we've seen this before in Italian politics where we've had these very intractable problems in terms of forming a majority, and they seem to muddle through well enough. La Repubblica, l'Italia di Cinque Stelle e Lega. Then it talks about PD, the Partito Democratico, being knocked out with Renzi himself on the way out. Of course, the PD losing a huge amount of its support over the last 4 years since the 2014 local elections, where they were around 40%. They're now below 20%. One of my favourites, I don't know if you guys saw this yesterday, but when Silvio Berlusconi went to vote, he was accosted by a female protester not wearing a huge amount. The headline there says, "Che bordello," what a brothel. A nice play also on one of the Lega Nord proposals during the campaign that they should start reopening and taxing Italian brothels. Let's take a look at the local newspaper here in Rome, Il Messaggero. It says, centrodestra avanti, exploit Cinque Stelle. So, of course, that's about the centre-right coalition being ahead. Some question marks still around Cinque Stelle. Corriere della Sera from Milano, another big newspaper in the north of the country. Balzo Cinque Stelle, il governo è un rebus. Question mark about how they're going to form a government here in Italy. A lot of questions about that. And I'll leave you with the most left-wing of Italy's mainstream newspaper, Ballando sotto le stelle. A nice little play there on dancing with the stars, a reference to the Five-Star Movement. On that, after that little paper review here in Rome, I'm going to hand it back to you guys in London.
Still watching? Perfect. Click here to watch another great video from CNBC International. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.